I've been heading in a spiritual direction, what I consider a spiritual direction, not necessarily a religious direction, and when I say spiritual, again, honoring some level of wholeness or intelligence beyond what I know and beyond what I can see. That's kind of a simple definition of my belief. So I started to attend what's called a Unity Center here in town, because that's where all the spiritual people went, and I actually guest spoke there many times over the years, because my message was right up their alley and their message was right up their alley. And then over the years I became a little more involved in the community. I found a community of people who actually didn't need convincing. It was like preaching to the choir. So in a lot of ways, it was an attractive thing, and I really kind of fell in love with the community. So around the time my hip became an issue as far as adjusting, a lot of people that I was still adjusting a lot of people, and then again, our minister left and blah blah blah. And I got this calling that was a total surprise to me. I was actually at the going away party for the former minister when I got this message, like, you do this. And I'm like, what? Is there somebody else up there? Or wherever that message was coming from. But at that point in my life, I knew that was real, and that that it was a valid thing to run with. So yeah, we did that for 12 years, and after doing both, still, I was running a practice and a church. We didn't necessarily call it a church, but that's the closest one word for it. And my hip was still barking and barking even more. So I decided, again, surprisingly to me, because I thought I'd be one of those guys who keeled over and died at 95 adjusting somebody. I chose to leave active practice and go into ministry, and did that for 12 years. But Ben, I'm glad you asked that. So before I go to the other aspect, which I already forgot, I will I will say that from the first month, my wife and I noticed a difference. Even though we thought we were going to be addressing the cause of interference a lot more by dealing directly with consciousness, people were not making the kind of changes we saw in our chiropractic practice. People were, liking it and coming for the camaraderie and for the inspiration, but they weren't necessarily there to make changes in their life, and they weren't receiving what I was to discover was a big piece of all that, which is the chiropractic adjustment. And it made a big difference. So I became more passionate about chiropractic actually by leaving chiropractic than by staying.